Dzień dobry, nazywam się Agnieszka Pogorzelska i jestem starszym konsultantem w Invencie. Odpowiadam za procesy diagnozy kompetencji kandydatów i pracowników firm. Jednym z trendów, które pewnie wszyscy obserwujemy we wszystkich dziedzinach życia, jest postępująca cyfryzacja i automatyzacja, a oczywiście procesy HR nie stanowią tu wyjątku. Szczególnie w dzisiejszych bardzo trudnych czasach, kiedy firmy próbują prowadzić swoją działalność w miarę normalnie i poszukują też narzędzi, które je w tym wesprą. Inventa, aby dostarczać nowoczesnych rozwiązań dla HR-u, współpracuje z firmą Yellow Couch, która od 15 lat rozwija nowoczesne narzędzia psychometryczne online. Jej współzałożyciel i obecny dyrektor zarządzający Filip Hrkal specjalnie dla nas i naszych klientów nagrał webinar, w którym prezentuje vidAssess, platformę, na której można dokonywać kompleksowej oceny kandydatów poprzez wideo wywiady, ale również poprzez kompleksowe procesy Video Assessment Center. A platformę tę wspólnie obecnie wprowadzamy na rynek polski. Serdecznie zapraszam do obejrzenia webinaru, po którym Filip będzie dostępny, aby w sposób zdalny odpowiedzieć na pytania, jak również oczywiście konsultanci Inventy są do Państwa dyspozycji. Serdecznie zapraszam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the webinar focused on the video assessment tool called vidAssess, the safe way to move your recruitment and development processes online in those challenging times. My name is Filip Hrkal. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of the Yellow Couch, former QT, Central East Europe. I founded these companies with my colleague Václav Coubal, and I've been working in the field of psychometry and diagnostics for last over 15 years. During this time, we really moved psychometry in Central East Europe. Nowadays, we assess over 200,000 people every year, mostly in the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Poland. And we work with large companies like Penta, Škoda Auto, Skanska, E.ON, but also we help to smaller clients in those regions, as you will see today. Who we are and why we are the world's leader in psychometric innovations. I think that it's because of many things, mostly because we combine robust psychometric tools with top technologies. We really moved those psychometric solutions developed within last years, and we try to create client-centric solutions. It means that we do not have one solution for everyone, but we rather combine psychometric tests, questionnaires into the solutions that perfectly fit to the customer needs in Central East Europe. Another important parameter why we are successful is, I think, the combination of data that we collect in the respective markets through our targeted tools with the top technologies. Gamification, virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and also tools like vidAssess that combines different approaches into the one single platform. Last but not least, I would like to mention our instant support. We operate a hotline for our clients in Central East Europe, located in Prague in the Czech Republic, but working in many languages, including English language. And also we have our localized partners in Poland, in Hungary, that are able to offer top-class solutions in their respective markets, also in their languages, of course. As I said, we really developed within the last years. We started operation in Prague in 2006 as a QT company. And by that time, we only had 5 instruments, online instruments, computer-based instruments in the times where only pen and paper solution was a standard. Thanks to the cooperation with the biggest job posting servers, we moved to operation in the Central East Europe, Czech, Slovak, Poland, and Hungary. And it was in 2011 when we already had over 30 diagnostic tools. In 2016-17, we became part of the E.ON assessment solutions, and by that time, the portfolio already contained over 100 tools. Also, those days, 2016-2017, all started to be about the big data and analytics, And because as a Yellow Couch, we really like to work with data that we collect through the instruments, we were so successful that we moved over the board of the Czech Republic and even Central East Europe to countries like Oman, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and also to the whole Europe, as you can see. These are the countries that we offer our solutions nowadays. We also, as I mentioned, we also combine standard psychometric tools, tests, questionnaires with the new technologies. Today, I will talk about the video assessment tool that enables us to operate remotely assessments, interviews, and many other things. We had a lot of plans actually for 2020, but as you know, important thing happened. A thing that is called a black swan. Now, you probably know and you've heard about this term, but just in case, a black swan is an unpredictable event that is beyond what is normally expected of a situation and has potentially severe consequences. Severe, but it doesn't have to be bad consequences. It can actually be severe, but also in a positive way. Let's now have a look on how this event literally within hours influenced our approach towards the standard assessment development centers and information gathering actually. I have prepared this chart which combines different kinds of data and their evaluation, and also the tools that HR, line managers, companies have to identify this data and evaluate them. If you think about it, from the very beginning, when you see a candidate, also in the recruitment process, what you do is that you collect data about the candidate. These data can be objective or subjective, and in the same objective and subjective way, we can evaluate these data. Thus, we get to this chart. Actually, the objectively evaluated objective data are represented by tests. They have right and wrong answers, and they are time limited. These are online already in our platform, so this is not changing. The same is for the questionnaires, which are subjective data, and we evaluate them objectively, comparing them against comparisons group questionnaires, 360 feedbacks. Again, this was online already, and this is not changing thanks to the new black swan. What is changing, of course, is the subjective evaluation, because for subjective evaluation, you need human interaction. And of course, in these challenging times, this is, if not prohibited, then not recommended, at least. So immediately, as I said, within a very short time period, this changed, and people are forced actually to use new technologies to not meet personally. And actually, it is not only because of the black swan thing that happened, but also because the technologies are developing, and many companies are, or actually were even before this event, pushing the digital skills and digital competencies. So the subjective part of this chart changed. For the competency-based interviews, either companies are using one-to-one live web meetings, of course, or the video assessment tool that I will present today, which is asynchronous and time-saving, of course, but also can include much more than just the regular web meeting, as you will see today. And also the role plays, especially in assessment and development centers, which are objective data subjectively evaluated by assessors, co-assessors, and people presented during the center, are moving, and especially in the role plays that can be included in the form of case studies, in the form of several documents that can be analyzed within the platform, in the form of interviews with employees, virtual employees. They can all be included in the vidAssess tool. So this all upper subjective part is changing and actually moving online, as you will see today. Now I would like to focus on one of the part, actually, the subjectively evaluated subjective part, and that's the interview. Now, interview has been here for many years, and the validity, let's say the predictive validity of the interview, can differ. We, of course, have non-structured interviews, which are still better than looking only into the CV. But of course, HR people know that much better way is to handle the structured interview. If you know what you are asking, competency-based interview or a behavioral interview, actually, as you can see in this chart. What is even better is to combine the structured interview with cognitive ability tests. As we know from our own practice, these are great predictors of performance of the candidate. But how to do it all remotely? Now, it's not only the COVID-19 that changed the game. And to be honest, as we analyzed within the last months, we experienced increased usage for over 350% of this instrument. But also, there are many other parameters that are for handling interviews through the video assessment tool. First of all, candidates are more comfortable with video technologies. More and more people are representing new generation, but also people from, let's say, older generations are more and more used to those technologies. They have more and more trust because technologies are developing. They are flawless. We experience less mistakes, and then it increases the confidence of people with these technologies. But also on the side of the HR or managers that are maintaining interviews, actually there is a huge necessity for defensible decision making, and you can achieve by a video interview because first of all everything is recorded. And then people can watch the exactly same thing and evaluate, because video assessment tool enables multiple evaluator to be involved in the whole process. Also, on one place, from the candidate point of view, you can combine interview results with other assessment data, compare them, find discrepancies, and focus on those to clearly identify potential threats or potential not that beneficial behavior for the current role or company. And as I already said, thanks to the technology development, nowadays the video assessment can offer a seamless candidate experience. One place, fully working with full support. So it's easy, online, time-saving, and actually safe from the healthy point of view. Let's now have a quick look on some numbers. Thanks to the combined technology, we know from our current customers that we can reduce the face-to-face or let's say screen-to-screen interviews for over 40%. We experience something unbelievable, and that's 98% completion rate, which means that we have one of the best-in-class user experience with the video assessment tool. Also, thanks to the combination of data that I mentioned before, the different clusters, we can generate over 42% higher profit thanks of people who have high scores compared with those who have low scores, which is quite significant from the company point of view. So these are numbers for the vidAssess tool, but we also have another numbers. We ask the people, and actually over 76% of all interviewers change their mind about someone once they have seen a video interview combined with also with the assessment data. And 95%, which is almost all of those completing a video interview, said that they would do another video interview, which is completely against the theory that people don't like to be recorded. But of course, thanks to the current situation, this is out of the game because there is no other option at this moment. There is a huge time saving. I will not read all the numbers. Of course, you can see them on the screen. But what was really interesting is that the video interviews can reduce time to hire for over 90%. And again, we can see it now. I mean, these numbers we already had before the current situation on the market. But even before, once you have the experience with online and video assessment, you know that it's enormously time saving. You don't need to travel. Candidate doesn't need to travel. You have the data available and you can play them when you want, thanks to the asynchronous method of the vidAssess tool. So these are quite interesting numbers. Let's now have a look on the vidAssess usage. Well, actually, in terms of recruitment process, online assessment is included in the, let's say, third part after the pre-application or the online application part. Sometimes, and some of our clients are using vidAssess as the very first step integrated in their platforms or in the website. But usually is this, let's say, our second step process. Also, at this part is being combined with our other tools, usually personality and motivational questionnaires, and some tests from the scales series. It means ability tests. The whole tool is included in the MapTQ platform. MapTQ means mapping tests and questionnaires, and of course it means that we have all our tools integrated in one single online platform, which can be fully branded, as you will see. And also vidAssess is included there. It means that you have all the data at one place and you can combine them, you can copy the existing video interview processes, edit them, change them, modify them in a very playful and very easy to handle and easy to manage way. How does the setup look like? Also quite easy. First of all, you select language or languages in which you want the vidAssess to be managed. Of course, that we can do, and we can combine many languages to one place, so you can handle Polish, English, Czech, Hungarian language on one place. Then you need to define criteria. As I said, we have video assessment tool, so we prefer one solid model, competency model, behavior model with behavioral anchors to be behind everything what we do. And in this we can either offer our competency models, or of course we can integrate any competency or behavior model of our clients. Based on the selected criteria, we create a question pool. It means questions that will be heading towards the selected competencies or behavioral factors. We create a new question pool. We will define questions, and those questions can be, as you will see, either video, audio, normal standard questions, or virtual case studies. After this is done, we can create a new and set up new interview. It means that we can select the interview and modify the interview, or combine into the interview different kind of questions, different kind of tasks. It means that the tasks are already prepared in the system by you or by us, and you can always combine them in any way you want into the existing interviews. Once you define interview name, question pool, and number of rates and scales, you select the questions that you want to include within the process, and you can customize the whole text part, the introductional part, all the text that are within the video assessment, and also the goodbye text. And that's it. You just add it to task list and you made it live for the candidates.
Now, I would really like to show you how the vidAssess tool looks from the candidate side. But before that, please, I would like and I must to show you some cool functionalities of vidAssess. And no, don't be afraid. We have a separate training for our clients to teach you, to show you how to handle the whole system. But just a few words about setting of the whole system. Actually, as you can see, we work with 3 different parts of vidAssess. First of all, it's very important to create a competency model that will be evaluated. We are a psychometry company, so it's very important for us. So there is a science behind, and there is always a competency model behind that is being evaluated within the vidAssess tool. Then, of course, we create a question pools, and I will get to this folder because it's one of the most important ones. And we set up the whole interviews, including the introductional part, informational part, and goodbye part of the instrument. In terms of question pools, it's quite cool that actually you can add different kinds of questions and include them within the online assessment. So for example, if you click on the add question, you select the type of the question, and as you can see here, you can add either standard question or audio only question without any video part, or you can add any virtual case study like in the real assessment and development centers, in-tray exercises, PDF analysis, simply anything you want. Or you can add video question. We also offer an overall scale option here. The overall scale can be used to conduct an overall rating for candidates independent of the individual questions. And now, let's see how it looks from the candidate side. After login in the site that is usually branded in the corporate identity of our clients, the candidate enters the first login page. Here, in case of the universal or open administration, the candidate needs to fill in only name, surname, and email address. In the pre-prepared administrations, this is all done before. The system allocates individual login ID to the candidate, and the candidate needs to agree with the privacy statement. Immediately after, the candidate is being forwarded to the online assessment system welcome page, and here candidate can start any tool that is waiting for him to be filled. Here in this case we can see only the interview demo. However, at this screen usually the video assessment tool is being combined with another tools from our product portfolio, tests and questionnaires. So now we see the first and welcome page of the video assessment tool. Here actually you can add any customized text about the project, about the assessment, or about your company. You can also add any introduction video or any picture, like this one in our case. After the first welcome screen, candidate sees some hints on following pages. We explain the procedure of the whole assessment, and actually here the candidate knows exactly what is ahead of him or her. Also, we think that it's quite important to show candidates some information to increase the quality of the recorded video, like lighting, environment, camera setup, and other things. In every case, there is an example question. As in our other tests and questionnaires, we think that it's quite important for candidates to be familiar with the handling of the instrument. In our case, we have example question and the candidate must identify what is on the picture and describe what the candidate sees. In my case, the camera is turned off. However, here the candidate usually records him or herself and tries to operate with the whole platform. After the demo video is being recorded, candidate can continue or replay the video or retake the video. After the example question, we see the introduction page. Here we can add any introductory text, so we can tell participants what is ahead of them, and also, as you already know, we can add any video, audio or image files here. Also, we give some hints about how the whole process will look like. It means how many tasks are there in this assessment, how long it will take, and what's the maximum upload volume, so the candidate can know based on the internet connection if it's suitable enough. We try to keep the uploaded volume as low as possible, and usually a low or standard internet connection is absolutely okay and enough for recording. Now, the candidate will see the first standard question. In our case, we ask the candidate, please describe the situation when you had to convince someone about your opinion. What was the most difficult part, why, and what was the outcome? This is one of the typical behavioral interview or competency-based interview questions. After candidate prepares for the answer, the candidate can record the answer. In the setup, we set that the minimum length of the recorded answer is 10 seconds. Again, the candidate can replay the answer and also can take up to 3 attempts of recording for the answer. This is being whole setup in the project setup. It means that you as a HR or line manager, can decide how many attempts you allow for every candidate to have. The second question is the video question. The candidate has 2 attempts for investigation and 1 minute for preparation. Again, the whole summary is being shown on the screen for every candidate. In our case, we ask the candidate, please watch the following video. You see that it's just a short introduction video, and now we will ask candidate to answer the question. We want candidate to convince us that this is the best introduction video for any company presentation. The candidate has enough time for preparation, and then he or she can record the answer. And again, give up to 3 minutes for candidate to answer, with a minimum length of recording time set up for 10 seconds. Here the candidate can see the upload of the answer. You can see that it's usually very fast. And now the virtual case study takes place. In fact, you can add any virtual case studies within the platform, including PDF files, audio files, video files, or external or internal links. In our case, we ask candidates to read carefully following information about Yellow Couch and then record some answers. As you can see, we give candidates some marketing data and some information about the company. Here we can add up to 6 different folders with completely different information that the candidate has to analyze. After candidate analyzes the answers, we ask him or her several questions. For instance, what does Yellow Couch offer to its clients? Or what is the motto of Yellow Couch? And candidate, as you already seen, must answer for all the questions that we ask. After the question, or actually the answer, is being recorded, again the candidate can see it and watch it once again and take, in our case, up to 3 different recordings. When the answer is being uploaded, the candidate knows that now all the tasks were completed and can change the mind by discard any part of this assessment, or to complete it, as in our case. And now it's the time for final screen. Here you can say thank you to the candidates and goodbye to all participants. Also, you can give any contact information that are necessary within the project. And that's it. It's that easy.
I really hope you like it, and now it's also time after this presentation to try it. And that's why we prepared a demo login for you. So please, once this webinar is finished, visit the website and enter the login you see on your screen and enjoy it. Once the candidate finishes all the tasks, you can see it in the system and you can evaluate it. How does the reviewer overview looks like? It's very easy. You select the candidate, you rate the interview, you see all the completed questions, you can review them, watch them, and also you can do a multiple evaluation. After you rate all the candidates, you just submit the rating and you have your output. Let's now have a look from the administrator or rater side.
Let's now see it in practice. It's that easy. In the project, you just select the candidate that finished the video interview. And as a rater, you can start your rating. It's very easy because you can play any of the finished parts of the virtual assessment. You can see the candidate, you can play the answer.
This is the best introduction video I've ever seen because colors.
Thanks, Agnieszka. And of course that you can watch it all, and then you can rate the candidate based on how you see it. And this can be multiple ratings, so it can either be only you rating the candidate, or it can also be multiple raters within the company. You also can add any comment that can be then included in the report. After you finish all ratings, you just click on submit and the report is ready to be generated. And that's it.
And it brings us to the end, actually. Before that, few references. These are some of the clients that we cooperate with in the Central East Europe region. Many of them have already experience with the video assessment tool. Here are some written references of companies that have already successful experience with vidAssess, companies like Octapharma, Erlingus or Musgrave. Also, many of them are using the corporate skin that I've mentioned. This is how usually their assessment center platforms look like. As I already mentioned, we can fully customize the introduction part, all the design of the vidAssess and other tests, ability test questionnaires that we have in our platform according to your corporate identity. It means that everything is in line with your corporate image. So now is also the time for questions. If you have any questions, turn on our regional partners. You see the contact info right now on your screen, or contact me directly. I will do my best to answer as soon as possible after this webinar or anytime later. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to put your fantasy free, actually. In those difficult times, this is one of the good things that we can offer, that actually there is no limit and no boundary, and we can customize fully the tool that you have seen today according to your needs to support your recruitment and development processes and to move them safe and online. Thank you for your attention.